Hey, you! You're thinking of making a video game? Well, guess what? You're gonna fail! But you should do it anyway. There's really little downside. And that's all because of a little thing I like to call the safety net of game development. I don't think it's any mystery that video games are a different kind of art form. I mean, there's so many disciplines that go into it. You got programming, art, music, sound effects, writing, all of these creative aspects, let alone running the actual business of having your own game development studio. We'll just ignore all that. Let's just focus on the creative side. Every single one of these things have their own deep career paths. Whether you're by yourself or you're with a small team, if you're making a video game, you're gonna be touching a whole bunch of different areas of development, right? A good game requires you to nail all of these different creative disciplines in your game, which is so hard to do. And it's why most games fail. Like, the vast majority of games never even make $1 or get finished. And that's fine. That's fine. That shouldn't deter you at all. Because while it would be lovely to make your own solo game like Stardew Valley and make $1 zillion and be famous and everyone loves your game and you're living the life, that probably won't happen for you. I hope it does. But to me, that's not even where the value of practicing game development comes from. Again, that'd be amazing, but there's something I gotta tell you. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Game development is a gateway drug. The bad kind. Let's use programming as an example. Listen, when you first start programming, everyone knows what you have to do is you make a console application and you print hello world, you run it, and it opens up a little hacker terminal and you see your text and you're like, oh my God, I'm a freaking genius, this is incredible. And then you keep making console applications and you do a for loop and then you print numbers. If you get a computer science degree, they're gonna make you start with console applications. And frankly, it's boring. Now we look at game development. Here's my first few minutes just starting out. Yeah, I did that. But you get my point. You might be interested in programming, or you might not even know that you care about programming, but through creating games, you'll get better at it and practice it, and it keeps you entertained and keeps you focused. Because when you're first starting out, building a web server that's just moving data back and forth can be pretty boring, but when you get that immediate visual feedback of I just wrote this script and now this thing on the screen's moving around, or I just made these art assets and I see them in the game, or I just wrote this cool song and I put it in my game and it just changed the whole mood of the level. You get this immediate feedback with games that you don't in other forms. Every little thing you do, you kind of see pieced together and you get that immediate visual feedback. And so what I'm trying to get at is that making video games is a great way of practicing your skills. And so if you try and make games, yeah, you'll probably fail. But the more and more you practice the thing, you found interesting, the deeper you'll go down that path of that discipline. And maybe you don't end up working in games as a professional, but maybe you start working on web apps, or maybe you become a musician, or maybe you become a sound effects engineer, or maybe you become a 3D modeler. It's a great way to figure out what you're interested in or if it's the right thing to do. And in my experience, I really think that argument is impenetrable. There's no doubt making games can be really fun compared to other avenues of learning these things. And the upside of that is maybe you do make a really cool game. Maybe you build out your portfolio and you get to go work at a AAA company and you find your way into the games industry. That's definitely a fair reason to get into game development as well. No one's questioning that. But no matter what your goals are, you can shoot for them, you get them, that's great. You make a shit ton of money, that's great. And if you don't, well, guess what? You have all this experience now to fall back on, and when one door closes, a whole bunch of others open up for you. Yeah, so that's my TED Talk. I'm interested to see what you think, and if you're thinking about making games, go after it, because you're gonna have that safety net to catch you, and you're gonna be fine. Or you won't.